almost see it happening. That Trump was doing better than expected. Guess what? The polls were wrong, but they kept reminding us the mail-in votes, the mail-in votes.
All of a sudden, and it's awfully convenient. I mean, the COVID narrative was built up. It's supposed to be done in safety. And that argument was presented to me in person. Well, we can't allow you to do your job and even watch us compare signatures and actually do the tallying of the votes because of COVID. So the narrative just worked out perfectly in the favor of the side that's currently in the lead.
Right. Well, even if you give them the benefit of the doubt and you say this was unpreparedness and incompetence, the way you were treated as a poll watcher, that was quite intentional.
There's only so many, fool me once, shame on you. There's only so many times that inconsistencies can occur, irregularities to occur, and so many patterns happening across the country of the same thing happening before you can say that, well, maybe this was coordinated at a maximum, but at least at a minimum, maybe someone is taking advantage of a system that they knew had loopholes.
Jonathan, what can the American people do? What can Trump's supporters do? Because we want to do something.
Absolutely. And I think a number of things. I was very encouraged by local county GOPs that did not wait for a legal team to come to them and say, we need the evidence. They chronicled everything that they saw. And so the American public, if you see something, say something. Be able to type out your notes, get an affidavit, get a notary public to stamp and seal that these are your words and this is what you've seen, and hold that, keep that close to you. Turn it over to your local GOP, your local county GOP, and try to plug into the networks that you do have to continue raising the alarm. Once again, as mentioned, this is a court of opinion fight almost as much as it is a legal battle. How the country feels and moves a certain way will ultimately, unfortunately, sway how some of these not so independent judges will determine what the evidence is in front of them. So I do encourage average Americans to continue what they've been done, the unrest and the unease at a process that has been fraught with fraud.
What is your message to conservatives and to Christians about how we should protest?
I think our mandate has never changed, right? That mandate to work and to keep the garden, that mandate that God gave to Adam all the way back in the Garden of Eve, that hasn't changed. And if we've done the work of establishing this union, then we need to keep it. That next word, working and keeping. We need to make sure that we keep it. It means we remain vigilant when we see something, we report it, and we do not allow individuals that are either motivated, partisan, or just incompetent take away an election, a duly righted election that would otherwise have gone the way that the supporters would have wanted it to go.
Conservatives, we're not the revolutionaries. We don't throw bricks through windows and burn down cities, but it is time to stand up.
Right. I think we have something good that we have to hold on to. And I think as often as conservatives realize what is at stake, the breakdown of the family, abortion, all these things that are critical to sustaining this country, these things that we believe, the pro-life ethic, all these things are so important to our daily living. We have to realize that we have a lot to lose, and so it's better to fight within these few weeks of this electoral college process evening out itself and this legal process happening. It's so much better to fight in these 2 months than to have to pick up this fight and fight for the next 4 years.
What's your prayer for this country, Jonathan?
By the original mandate that was given to mankind, right? God said, Adam, worship me, but also be a good steward of what's around you. Thankfully, the United States, 244 years ago, attached itself to that mandate and recognized that our duties to God is going to be preeminent. So churches need to be reopened, folks need to be gathering in their community, in their congregations, in their synagogues, hearing from the Word of God, believing a certain way in their heart, but then not being afraid to go out in the public square and to preach that message, to share that message, cast a ballot in favor of that message, support candidates, support policies and offices and agendas that amplify that message. That man's chief end is to glorify God.
What's going on right now with our elections and the lack of hope and the lack of trust in how our elections are run right now is so much bigger than President Trump. It's so much bigger than Joe Biden. It's so much bigger than all of us because it is about we the people. And if we the people do not believe that we are choosing presidents, if we the people believe that